Good morning, everyone. Uh, I don't like how my glasses shine. I don't know what does that. Maybe I should just take them off. Make me not so. I don't know. Uh, we've got a rainy day today. I've actually opened the curtains. I think it's about 6:30 in the morning. Oh no, 10 to 7. So I've been up a wee bit. The old body's a bit sore. I had my big CAT scan bone density CAT scan yesterday. Boy, was that an ordeal. I wouldn't wish that on anyone. Uh, you have to lie on this table. They put a big funny looking pillow under your knees so that they said it eases your back and your head and shoulders. At first, yes, it did. It was really good. And it's a huge machine, and it has, at the side of it, it has two slabs about that wide on either side of you, and then it turns. So they got me all set up. Now I'm strapped. She's strapped my feet together so I couldn't move my knees apart or my feet apart. And she put me in this sort of leather arms so that I had to put my arms to the side, but it was like a sling almost. And it was, by the time you put your arms down, it was sort of like held them in position. So I was literally strapped to that bed. And I thought, okay, I can do this. And she'd warned me that the two arms, or the two big square things, are going to start 4 inches from my face. And I thought, okay, I can do that. I'm not claustrophobic or anything like that. And she said, it'll stay there for about 4 minutes. And I thought, that's nothing. And that's what it did. So she started off having those big squares, and she started off up here, and it just slowly, very, very slowly, just took probably 20 minutes. It just slowly went down my body till it hit my feet. And at one stage I moved my head because at the side, at the counter side, there was the machine, and it told you how many minutes you had to go, and also it showed my skeletal body, which was really cool. I wished I'd been able to take a photo of it or a video of it, but of course you're not allowed to do things like that nowadays, even though we have all these machines. But it showed everything, which was quite interesting. Previously, 2 hours prior, I'd gone in and got an injection, which didn't hurt at all, of radioactive stuff that gets through your body so that the bone shows up better and it gets into the bone. And anyway, she took the big skeletal one and she says, right, now we're going to do a spinal one. And instead of going down my body, they got to the top of my spine and they rotated it. They did it once that end, and at the bottom end, I presume my tailbone, they did it again. That didn't take as long. And then she put me through, like at the end, it was like a typical CAT scan, the big round one that you go through. I went through that once, and then she took an x-ray. So in all, it was 5 minutes to get the injection, and then my daughter and I went and we just went and shopped around and had a cuppa and something to eat. Then it was time to go to get the scan. So we got there probably quarter past. No, I think we got there at 11. We were out by 12. And luckily Evelyn could come in with me, so that was good moral support because, but oh, by the time, they had to help me off the bed. An hour on that bed, my back, I've always had trouble with my back, uh, especially if I put weight on it, it just puts a big stress on it. But being in that position for that length of time, my back was just so sore. I was stiff as a board. So I had my daughter, the person doing all the scanning, and another nurse came in, and they're all trying to help me off this board and moving my legs, and I'm going, oh, 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 oh. And I said to Evelyn, fish my, because I always have Panadol in my bag everywhere I go. I said, I just need my Panadol. I need something to take this, because, they finally got me standing, and I was like a rigid board, boy. But by the time we sort of got out to reception or to the waiting room, they had one of those bottles that you could, those water fountains or water tanks that you could get a glass of water. So I downed my Panadol and said thank you very much and slowly made my way to the lift and out the hospital. By the time we finished walking to the car, it was eased up quite a bit, so that was a relief. But boy, have I woken up sore this morning. Yes, Panadol's been in it. God, I'm addicted to that stuff. Well, it's just old age, getting older, and the old body doesn't feel like I'm 19 anymore. It's hopeless. But never mind, it is what it is. So, did that, and then we decided, well, that's it until, because today's Thursday, so I have to wait for Wednesday now for my pre-admission meeting. They're not very forthcoming with what they say. It's going to take 4 hours, but they don't say. And they said, oh, people will be coming and going. Well, what do people, who are these people, what do they want, and how many people are you talking about? And I've seen the anaesthetist, he's important. I've seen the doctor or the surgeon, he's important. And I've seen the nurse that's going to help me afterwards. I suppose she's important. Who else has got to come and go? It's like bloomin' heck. I've signed a couple of things. I think the surgery I've signed for, and the anaesthetist I've signed for. To say yes, I'm agreeing with all that, and if I die on the table, they're not responsible, blah, 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 blah. And I'm still sitting here thinking, oh God, it's going to be a nightmare on Wednesday. But anyway, and then Evelyn reminded me I've got to go the next day for my radioactivity injection. No, the day before surgery. And then later on last night I found out they've booked the surgery, so it's on the 3rd of October. So that sort of hit home. Evelyn's talking to me and she said the nurse rang. I said, well, I didn't hear her. I must have been in the loo. Because yesterday's thingy that she said, oh, afterwards, drink plenty of fluid to flush out the radioactive jargon out of your body. So that's what I did. And of course, when you drink heaps of fluid, you've got to go to the loo. So I never heard the phone ringing. So they rang Evelyn and said, oh, your mother's not answering. And Evelyn said, well, she's probably in bed. It was exhausting yesterday. Oh, says the nurse. Oh, yes, well, I suppose it was. Thought, oh, God, yes, fine. I was a bit cross with that attitude. I thought, no. But they said, oh, yeah, they've booked me in for 3rd of October. And I said, Evelyn, I really don't know what to say about that. I said, that's next week. I think it's next week. I said, Wednesday we go for the pre-op, pre-med, pre-admission. She said, yeah, and on Thursday they'll do the injecting you with the dye. And then the Friday I'll be in for surgery. I said, oh, I'm either in shock or I've suddenly realised how serious this is getting. I said, I just don't know how to react to it. Nervous, yes. Then I sat down and thought, what have I got to do? What have I got to do? Because it's not... I know the surgery's coming, but then it's the afterwards, isn't it? How am I going to be afterwards? How sick am I going to be? Am I going to be able to manage to do things? Now, I've cooked a lot of meals, pre-cooked, so that I can just heat them. Like I've done my curried sausages, and I've done a nice lamb stew, and so that I can just heat and eat. And I've got things like sausage rolls and pies in the freezer, and saveloys and sausages. So, and bread, always bread. I'll get fresh milk before the day before I go in. And it's things like that. Right, what have I got to pack? What have I got to do beforehand? So it's clean the house, make sure my bed's changed, because I'm not going to be able to change my bed once I get out, not for a wee while. So I'll put clean sheets on the bed, and there's all these things that you just goes through your mind. I freaked my son out. I said, cut my toenails before I go. And he's going, what the heck, Mum? Why would you think something like that? I said, because there's nothing worse than long toenails. And when you're older, they're a pain in the neck. And it's harder to get down there to do it, so I'll get them done. I've done my hair, see, all short. Because at that stage when I got it done, I didn't know whether I was going to be doing chemo or anything. I'm not. I'm just going to be on a pill for the rest of my life. But anyway, it's nice and tidy. It's out of my eyes, so I hate my hair in my eyes. I get psoriasis in my eyebrows, and when the fringe comes down and starts tickling them, the flakes of psoriasis gets into my eyes and irritates me. Makes them itch like crazy. Yeah, because I'm talking about it. Gee. But anyway, I got off on a tangent, didn't I? Yesterday was a tough day. I just know that. And I'm glad I've got a few days. My son's coming down for the weekend. He's going to see me and bring the girls, and that'll be nice to see the granddaughters. It'll be lovely. Love seeing them. They're my girls. And Tara. Tara's a lovely girl. So, it's all on. I'll probably repack my hospital bag 10 times before I go. Brain just keeps going, but yeah, I'm just thinking it's come quick, but I suppose that's a good thing. I'm not going to be waiting months and months like some people have to. And so this is a short video just to say how I got on yesterday and what's coming within the next week. And I'm off to get some plastic plates or tinfoil plates this morning. That's on my list, and some coffee. The tin plates, I'm being lazy. I'm going to heat my food instead of having heaps of dishes to do, because I'm going to be a one-armed bandit. Well, I'm not allowed to put my hand above my head. I don't know how sore it'll be sort of doing this sort of motion. So I'm going on the off thing that I'll be a one-armed bandit for a while. And so I'm going to get tinfoil plates, eat off it, and throw them in the bin. Saves washing up. I'm all for easy-yozy, so yeah. Alright, I've babbled on long enough. Hope you're all well, and I don't know if you find this interesting or not, but that's how I'm feeling. I'm probably a wee bit better today in the mental capacity. Not so freaked out now that I know it's coming. And I guess I might do a short, or it might be a long, narrative on the pre-admission day and how that goes. I'll be home tired out after all the mental fatigue from it all, I suppose, because there'll be someone talking here and someone talking there and sign this and do you understand that, and thank goodness Evelyn's going to be there and she's my extra ears. And plenty of notebooks. If anyone's going through this, notebooks and pens. Write things down because you'll forget stuff, as I do. Alright people, thank you for watching. I appreciate you if you're watching. Take care. Bye for now. Bye.